Have you ever wondered what happens when the world's richest entrepreneur stops talking about rockets, electric cars, or artificial intelligence, and instead speaks from the heart about the future of humanity? For a brief moment, the room falls silent. The cameras continue rolling. The audience leans forward. Across the stage, Elon Musk takes a slow breath before answering a question that seems simple, but carries the weight of generations. What gives you hope for humanity? It isn't the kind of question people expect to become unforgettable. Yet over the next few minutes, the atmosphere in the studio begins to change. This isn't about business. It's not about money. It's about survival, purpose, and the choices humanity makes before it's too late. Welcome back to Neon Narration. Today's story explores one of Elon Musk's most thought-provoking interview moments, where technology, fear, hope, and the future came together in front of a live audience. The studio lights glow softly as the host welcomes Musk to the stage. The applause is warm, and Elon responds with his familiar reserved smile and a small wave before taking his seat. The conversation begins on a light-hearted note. The host jokes about sleepless nights. "So, are you ever actually off work?" The audience laughs. Elon smiles. "Not as often as I probably should be." Another wave of laughter fills the room. The mood is relaxed. The discussion moves naturally from SpaceX to Tesla, from engineering challenges to innovation. Elon explains that solving difficult problems means accepting failure as part of the learning process. "Most people see failure as the end," he says calmly. "I see it as information." The audience listens attentively. The host then shifts the conversation in a more thoughtful direction. "You've spent years thinking about where humanity is heading, not just over the next decade, but over the next century." A quiet pause settles over the room. "What worries you the most?" Elon looks down for a moment. Not because he doesn't have an answer, but because choosing the right words seems important. His hands rest quietly together as he gathers his thoughts. "When you think about civilization," he begins, "it's incredibly fragile." The room grows noticeably quieter. He explains that throughout history, great civilizations have risen and fallen. Progress is never guaranteed, and human knowledge can be lost if it isn't preserved and protected. The host listens without interrupting. "So your concern isn't just technology. It's humanity itself?" Elon nods. "It's easy to assume tomorrow will always be better. But history doesn't promise that." Those words seem to linger in the air. The conversation then turns towards space exploration. The host asks the question many people have wondered. "Why Mars?" Elon smiles slightly. "It's not about giving up on Earth. It's about making sure humanity has a future, no matter what happens." He explains that becoming a multi-planetary civilization isn't driven by pessimism. It's driven by responsibility. Just as priceless works of art are protected in multiple museums, or important data is backed up in several locations, human civilization should never exist in only one place. The audience listens closely. The host leans forward. "So when people say you're trying to escape Earth," Elon gently shakes his head. "No, we should do everything we can to improve Earth. But we should also make sure civilization can survive." The discussion becomes even more personal. The host asks, "Do you ever feel the pressure?" Elon gives a small laugh. "I think about it a lot." Another pause. "Probably too much." The audience chuckles softly, sensing the honesty behind the humor. He describes long nights spent thinking through difficult engineering challenges. Not because they're easy, but because someone has to try. The host watches him carefully before asking one final question. "What keeps you going?" For the first time during the interview, Elon doesn't answer immediately. His eyes drift across the audience. His smile fades. The room becomes almost completely still. Only the faint hum of the studio lights can be heard. Whatever he's about to say next feels like the emotional heart of the conversation. The silence lasts only a few seconds, but inside the studio, it feels much longer. Elon finally looks back at the host. "I think about the future," he says quietly. "Not just my future, everyone's." His voice remains calm, yet every word carries weight. "We've been given an incredible opportunity as a species." He pauses. "It would be a shame if we wasted it." No dramatic music. No grand gestures. Just a sincere answer. The audience listens in silence. The host nods thoughtfully before asking another question. "Do you believe people are naturally optimistic enough to build that future?" Elon smiles. "I think people want reasons to be hopeful." He explains that hope doesn't simply appear on its own. It grows when people solve problems, create meaningful things, and work together toward goals that are bigger than themselves. We should wake up excited about tomorrow. The words are simple, but they resonate throughout the theater. When the applause settles, the host asks one final question. If millions of young people are watching this interview tonight, what's the one thing you hope they remember? Elon leans forward slightly. Don't assume someone else will solve the important problems. His expression is serious. If you see something that needs to be improved, try. You don't have to change the whole world overnight, but you can make it a little better. The audience responds with warm applause. The host smiles. That's a powerful message. Elon gives a modest nod. I hope so. As the interview comes to an end, the two shake hands while the audience applauds. In the days that followed, many viewers shared clips and discussed the conversation online. Some praised Elon's long-term vision for humanity, while others questioned whether becoming a multi-planetary civilization should take priority over solving challenges here on Earth. Whether people agreed with every idea or not, one thing became clear. The interview encouraged people to think beyond today's headlines and consider the future of humanity. Because conversations about the future don't belong only to scientists, engineers, or world leaders. They belong to everyone. The future isn't shaped by one visionary alone. It's built through millions of everyday decisions made by ordinary people. And perhaps that's what made this conversation so memorable. Not because it offered certainty, but because it invited every viewer to think about the role they want to play in humanity's next chapter. What do you think about Elon Musk's message? Do you agree that becoming a multi-planetary civilization is essential for humanity's future, or should our primary focus remain on improving life here on Earth? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you enjoyed this cinematic story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Neon Narration, and turn on notifications for more dramatic stories inspired by real celebrity interviews and unforgettable moments. Until next time, thanks for watching.